Hello everyone, ObiVanDamme here, and welcome back to Timberborn, where we are trying to turn this massive waterfall down here and this, well, hole in the ground into a beaver colony that uses aqueducts and massive constructions to save insane amounts of water. So, last episode, we started building some housing over here, and that is still going on. We are a little bit short on logs. We only have 30. And if you remember, we need to finish this dam here before the next drought, or not the next, the first drought hits. So we got a bit of stuff to do. Let's start by bringing the priority to high on that one, because I definitely want to get access to all of these trees down here. There's a few trees left over here. I think once the dam is done, we should try to get planks on the way as quickly as possible, because with planks available we can finally start building the, what's it called, the forester, so we can replant all of our forest. Let's add an industrial pile down here, or at least a small one, and then extend this path all the way to here, because I think I want to have another crossing. So we'll have one here and another one down here. That should be fine. Okay, overnight it looks like Vuzembi grew up. No, Faye grew up. And we now have an unemployed beaver, but we do not have any jobs to fill. Oh, we can add another. We can add another harvester, because these ones should be almost ready. I also forgot to add power to, to the lumber mill. So let's down the priority of the mill itself. This one should produce 60. This one needs 75. So might need some extra work, but there's, well, plenty of water movement down here, so we can extend that later. Need some planks first to get down here with stairs. Awesome. The campfire is done, and construction on the barracks also started. These ones need 40 logs. Well, that is a lot. Let's have a look at this hole in the ground here for a moment and think about how we want to tackle that. So what I thought at the end of last episode, I think I mentioned I want to bring an aqueduct from over here all the way down to that puddle. But then I decided, the idea was, what if instead of just making it an aqueduct and then having water flow into this hole, we build up walls around it all the way up to the level of the aqueduct and turn the whole thing into a massive water tank. And then I think what we can do, if you look at the cost for a levee, so a levee is 12 planks, which means if we have 3 wide and 2 high wall of levees, that is 72 logs. And we just noticed that a barracks only costs 40. So what if instead of building a wall of levees, we will basically build all of our storage, housing, and whatever other factory is solid, so we can build on top of it, around that hole here, and then make the pillars of our aqueduct also buildings instead of just a levee structure. So then we basically have a city built into a massive water barrel and into the aqueduct. I think that might turn out pretty cool. So let's start by planning out how that would look like. So this is like a pixel art oval, where we need to fill in all the outer corners so that the whole thing looks like that. The only problem we have is that, there's one piece of path that doesn't quite fit. So we could either make it one deeper, or just leave it like that. So I deleted this whole thing again to see what it would look like if we make it a perfect circle. The width of this one is pretty much given by like starting with a 6 and 3 and 2, just to clear the edges. But that, if you look at this side over here, this will turn this whole thing into a massive circle, and it will go all the way to the edge of the river. I don't think that will look pretty good. So instead, what we can do is just extending this side to have a length of 6 instead of 5. The curvature on this side is not as good as I would like, but it allows us to skip this one tile over here where we would have to build up with levees. So I filled in the corner pieces again. I think this shape is good enough for all purposes. We just have to make sure that while we are building out the rest of the colonies, we are not utilizing this path too heavily. Otherwise, we will have trouble because this will no longer be path as soon as we build walls there. Let's check back on the beavers. They are halfway done with the... Oh, here we go. Next piece went in. Almost halfway through with the dam. The barracks is also 3/4 done, so that's good. Maybe this night we will not have anyone sleeping on the ground. Oh, and our kohlrabis are done. So they are started working on harvesting that, which is great. So we now have 2 kinds of food, which means our well-being is now nice. Yeah, it's up to 1. And as soon as we get the shelter sorted, we are at 4. Let's add a few inventor huts. Yeah, let's add them right here. We have space for 3 in total. Let's keep that at medium priority here. We want to wait for this barracks to be finished first. As soon as the barracks is done, we can then start with the inventor. I think it makes sense to get them a few science points in before we work on the planks, because without these science points, we can't even utilize the planks. And the first building we need is actually 60 science points. So definitely want to have the science points in, or the inventor in, to start working on science points before we get into working on planks. Alright, so it's the next morning, and you can see our kohlrabis are halfway through harvesting, and we are down to 11 already. So it looks like they are chewing through quite a substantial amount of kohlrabis. Although these ones are almost halfway grown back, so yeah, I think the field size for this is fine. They should be able to harvest pretty much all of them before this next lot is ready to be harvested again. And all the logs are in for this barracks, so as soon as one builder is free, we should see this being built. And here we go. Jaryaya is doing it. Here we go. Nice. So now we have our first barracks, which means we are down to 5 not unemployed. What am I talking about? 5 homeless beavers. Let's add a second barrack on the opposite side. Let's check on the dam. There's just 4 pieces left, so that is almost done. Then we have access to all of these trees, which means as soon as these 3 beavers here grow up, we can employ some more harvesters down here. Let's add a gatherer flag down here and also a lumberjack flag. We can't produce that, or can't build that yet. Yeah, we pause these lumberjacks and gatherers. There's a few pine trees left that I want to harvest at some point, but these 2 unemployed beavers will pretty much use the gatherer flag and lumberjack flag on this side of the river once the dam is in. Great, and the well-being went up to 4 with the barracks in place. Oh, some of the beavers that sleep in here actually have well-being of 6, so hunger, thirst, sleep, shelter, and kohlrabis is fulfilled. Oh, and also the campfire. Oh, yeah, nice. So we can go all the way up to 6 for well-being, which is great, because I think 5 is the first threshold for increased working speed and increased... movement speed is increased at 2 already. Nice, so we have 10% increased working speed now. Right, so this field size worked perfectly for these two farmers. So they planted the outer edges of the field, and the first few kohlrabis regrew in the center. So I think that's fine. But we are really short on food. I'm not sure if they produce a surplus at the moment or not, especially with the gatherer being paused. And the first drought is approaching. We have 3 more days to finish 2 dam pieces. This one is already has all of its material. Guys, why did you build that already? Anyway, it's the drought now, so I think in the meantime, to get this in, we can delete the water pump over here. It's just 12. This one is just 12 logs and easier to rebuild than this one. Speaking of this one, we can pause the lumber mill for the moment. So as soon as the drought hits, we will demolish this deep water pump to get the power wheel in. Oh, also I know why they built that one. Because I lowered the priority for workplace instead of building priority. I'm such an idiot. Anyway, the dam is almost ready. 15 out of 20 logs. So we might be able to see that finished today. There's 3 logs missing, 2 are being delivered. And that's it. This one is now done. So now we have access to this gatherer flag and this lumberjack flag. Let's mark all of these trees for cutting. Here we have the 2 beavers to build the flags. Gatherer is up. And come on. Oh, really? Oh, this is slightly annoying. Because now tomorrow, instead of the lumberjack immediately going to here, the builder has to come back. Oh, and we have our first beaver with a broken tooth. So let's add a grindstone. Let's shove that down here for the moment. And of course up the priority to max. Oh, I just realized the inventor hut is also done. And we already have... Oh, we have the scientist in here as well. Nice. Let's reduce the number of builders down to 3. We need an additional one to be a lumberjack down here. So lumberjack is at work. Gatherer is at work. We are really short on food. Yeah, I think we need some more food for that. Now the question is, should we wait for the drought to finish, start building some planks, and then start with mangroves down here, or we just add a second kohlrabi field on this side? I assume there is quite a lot of berries down here. Let's check the field on this side. Yeah, these berries are almost 65. They are almost regrown. So I think we can wait and go immediately for mangroves to get the additional well-being. Oh, and the teeth grinder is done. Nice. Yeah, this is now a really long round trip to gather wood and food. So yeah, we definitely need the stairs for next. Let's already get the path in, so I don't accidentally block it. Oh no, we have our first dead beaver out of old age, which is not really good. I think we can reduce the number of builders for now. We are currently only having the barracks in production. Everything else is fine. So we are now at 14 beavers at 3 breeding pods. That is not a lot, although there are 3 more beavers about to be born. In theory, 1 pod should support a population of 10. So we should always have roughly 30 beavers in total with 3 breeding pods. Checked, our oldest beaver is Yara Jaja with 45. I think they die between 50 and 60 at a random day. Well, plus life expectancy, of course, but we have 0 at the moment. And the breeding pods take 5 days to breed. So we should have 10 beavers being born per pod in 50 days, yeah. And just in time for the night, the second barrack finished, so now we have no beavers sleeping on the ground today. Awesome. Happier than ever. We now have well-being of 5 on average, which, yeah, is because of the additional barracks, so that's good. Okay, it's the next morning, and the drought started. It's just a 2-day drought, so I will not bother stopping any of the water pumps, which I usually do to keep everything green. We have water in our tanks, but with a 2-day drought, I don't really mind. Let's stop this, or let's delete this one, and hope that this will give us access to the water wheel. Yeah, it does. Logs are being transported over here. We have 25. We need 25. We have 54, so that should be built pretty easily. We are halfway through to building the forester also, so that is good. Awesome. The water wheel is finished. So as soon as the drought ends, we can start producing planks. Let's get the water pump back in. Oh, and we reached a well-being of 6 overnight. I think that doesn't unlock any bonuses. Yeah, so next here is 7. That will unlock life expectancy plus 20. So I think, yeah, going for the mangroves is definitely the right move. Water pump is back in. We have 3 unemployed beavers. 2 will go into the industrial lumber mill. For the other one, we can unpause the gatherer flag again because all of the berries regrew. Might also be worth going all the way down to here. And remember, this one is going to be the back wall of a barrack. So this is the front wall of a barrack. We leave one extra space so the road goes down here. Just in case. I don't want to rearrange everything later down the line. Just wondering if it might be worth adding a second industrial pile for logs down here so we don't have to transport everything so extremely far. And we will be using quite a lot of logs in this area later. Yeah, I think let's add an industrial pile to this area. Well, the lumberjacks have nothing to do because, obviously, I forgot to mark all of the trees for cutting. Next morning, the drought ended, so it's time to unpause the lumber mill. We currently don't have anyone working in here, but I think we can pause this lumberjack and also pause this berry gatherer right here. Now we just need to wait for water to return. Trees are starting to get green. Water is coming. Come on, start spinning the wheel. We need planks. We are at 60 science, so we can unlock the forester. And I want the forester to be right here. And then for Stardust, we will make him plant pines. Pretty much this entire area here. Let's go all the way to here. That should be fine. We only need 7 planks. The industrial lumber mill should be pretty fast. It has enough logs, 2 people working. Almost the required amount of horsepower. We will also build another tree farm for oak. I think maybe on the other side of the river. Yeah, and then maybe delete one of these berry fields. I'm not sure if this one or this one to grow some more crops. One thing I just noticed is that mangroves are not just a food production, but also produce logs, and they are even better than pine. So if you see, pine produces 2 logs in 12 days, whereas mangroves produce 2 logs in 10 days. So it might be worth using mangroves for logs and not just for food, because we will definitely have way too much mangroves if we cover the entire river with it. Yeah, definitely something to think about. Oh, and also the forester is done, but we don't have anyone working. So let's go down to 1 builder. Okay, Pi K is our forester. So start digging, my friend. We now have 5 planks. Yeah, so we definitely can do stairs, but we don't have enough science points. Might be worth adding another inventor, just to get the number of scientists up. One building doesn't... Oh, that's the inventor hut that doesn't have any scientists. We have a pretty decent supply of berries at the moment, so we might be able to pause the berry gatherer. Yeah, let's do that. Let's pause the berry gatherer. Berry gatherer? What? Let's pause the berry gatherer for now, so we have more science on the way. I think it's a pretty safe bet to say we will need some trees on that side as well. And especially later once all of this is green here. So let's add another forester on that side of the river. 1 beaver just grew up, so we can increase the number of builders to 2. Because with just 1 builder, this thing here takes ages to build. And I think for today that is good enough. We made some decent progress, finally got a wood farm underway, has some science on the go, and also I think the plan for this, well, massive water barrel is pretty good. So for now, I think thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.